All right, we are back with another pick'em video, and it is playoff time. There is a game starting in about an hour. It's almost noon here on the East Coast, so we're getting a later look at the board here, which is good. A lot of lines have probably moved if you're watching videos that came out last night or early this morning. So we're not going to be attacking that first game, but we are going to be looking at the following three games and going for a pick in each of those games. Also, if you do want to play, if you get this before that game starts, I think Max Strus has some value at his rebounds and assist line. It did get bumped up to 8 on PrizePicks. I really wanted to go to it at 7.5, but something to look at if you do see it at 7.5 or if you take it on Sportsbook. I think Strus's line was something I was definitely looking at. But yeah, before we get into things, I do want to say subscribe if you're new, comment anything down below, and leave the video a like. It just tells YouTube to push this video out a little bit more. If this video does get 150 likes, I'll be giving away a free month of the Discord. And then real quick, our video picks from last time, I always show them on the screen. Doesn't matter if we lose or win. Our Pelican boys came through for us. Were the first quarter plays, first quarter points for Ingram, and first quarter rebounds for Valanciunas. He had an awesome game. We talked about his value going up against Sabonis. And then Caruso and Bam were our two misses. I actually really wanted to give you Tyler Hero first quarter points. It's something we went to in the Discord yesterday, but I didn't want to include 3 first quarter props in the video. So I did Bam. It looked good. We always deep dive into the hit rates, into the matchups, into the odds, but ultimately didn't do anything really in that game. But they won, so it didn't really matter. And then Caruso, his lines were it actually ended up getting bumped down to 24.0. This was a personal play. I didn't have a lot of data to back it up, which is not something I usually do. But he ended up going under there. Didn't do much on the defensive end. Didn't do much on the offensive end. He does have those duds sometimes. So maybe a bad read by me on that one. But 2, 4, 4, 50% hit rate. We're obviously striving for more than that, and we're trying to do that today. So let's just jump right into the board. I do want to try to make this one a little bit quicker so I can get this out and edit it and get it to you guys before, as quickly as possible. So going to start off the first game. I'm going to go chronologically here, and I'm going to go to Grayson Allen. I think he's got a lot of value in his points line at 12.5. He plays really well against the Timberwolves here. But I'm actually going to go to his first quarter tab. Forgot to pull that. First quarter tab, Grayson Allen. Not Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen. 2.5 first quarter points. This is just a three-pointer. I can see him knocking it down, and we're going to go into the stats here. But 2.5 first quarter points for Grayson Allen against the Timberwolves. So I already have it pulled up here. This is Outlier. If you're interested in Outlier, you can get a free week trial if you want to check it out. Use my link in the description. Just lets them know that I sent you there. But it's an awesome tool, as we can see. So again, this is the tab I'm on. Head-to-head matchup this year. He's hit in all 3 games. So he's had 6, 3, and 5 points in those 3 games. He also just recently signed a contract extension, so I'm expecting him to be a big part of this offense. They wouldn't re-sign him if he's not going to be. He's been playing really well, and expect him to get 8 to 10 minutes in that first quarter. The playoffs are coming. People play a little bit more time, but 64% hit rate on the entire year, pretty solid. Definitely not something to not the worst case scenario. 64%, we'd love to see that. But in terms of the games, specifically with a lot of these guys that are playing, there's been some injuries with Bradley Beal, Durant missing time, Booker missing a lot of time. So we want to see specifically games that they've all played. And this actually goes up to a 71% hit rate when you look at those specific games. So that's awesome to see. The hit rate is incredible on this one. The matchup, obviously, the Minnesota defense is probably one of the best in the league. But as we can see, he's played really well against this Timberwolves team in the past. So yeah, here's the graph for the hit rate. You can see that awesome playing alongside all these guys. He's still playing 8 to 10 minutes, like I said, averaging 9.3 in that first quarter. And then we saw the head-to-head. Looks like he's played twice against them with everyone in the lineup. He had 3 points and 5 points. Quickly, though, if you want to look at the points in general, he scored really well against this team. 14 points, 23 points, and 20 points against the Timberwolves. So they have a good defense. Maybe they key in on some certain guys, and the others, as Shaq likes to say, are going to have to step up, and Grayson Allen should be in that role. But it's not just hit rate, not just matchup. We want to look at the odds. You can't do that very easily for first quarter props, but you can do it on OddsJam. Check out OddsJam free week trial. Highly recommend it. This is the sportsbook screen. They also have a fantasy optimizer that we're going to look at in a little bit. But this lets you see every prop for literally any sport ever, and it shows market value across all these different sports, pretty much across the world here. But I got his first quarter props in, or first quarter points, 2.5. The average sports book, taking into account all of these different sports books, are at minus 132 on the over and minus 100 on the under here. So odds are really liking this one as well. So Grayson Allen, 2.5. First quarter points going to be our first play. But again, if you want to go to the full game, 12.5, I don't mind that either. All right, so moving along to the next game, we got the Knicks versus the Sixers, and you can't really go wrong with Jalen Brunson, a guy who's been absolutely killing it. I don't want to say he carried this team to the 2 seed, but he carried this team to the 2 seed pretty much. Obviously, contributions from DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, OG, all these different guys that have stepped up. Just kind of a team full of dogs out there. But yeah, I think he's got a lot of value in a lot of his lines. Obviously, his points line's really high up there. A lot of people taking his PRA, but I landed on his 10.5 rebounds and assists just because he's done it very consistently against his Philadelphia team. And Philly's also a team he's kind of struggled to score against. So I really like the 10.5 here. It's got great value. And let's jump into some hit rates and things like that. So I got him pulled up on Outlier 2023 as a whole. We see he's hitting 51% of games, so nothing too crazy there. But obviously, Julius Randle has been out for a long time now. And just taking him out of the equation, this turns into a 64% hit rate. So I do love to see that. Obviously, great hit rate. That's what we're looking for in these types of things. Obviously, with other data to back it up, but we do love to see that. And then you take into account that some of these games, 8 minutes or 0.8 minutes here, you can throw some of these blowouts away. 40-point blowout here. This is the playoffs. I don't think the Sixers are going to roll over. They are 3.5-point favorites. The Knicks are. So hopefully this one stays close. And just going real quickly to his projected minutes over on RotoWire. We see Jalen Brunson projected for 42 minutes. And we know Tom Thibodeau loves to run his guys. He might play the whole freaking game. You never know. So taking that into account, getting rid of these games that he's only playing 30 minutes, let's tick this up to, 35, 36, 38 minutes even. I can do this. Yeah, 38 minutes. This turns into a 91% hit rate. In a lot of these games, he's crushing this line. So assuming this one stays close, assuming this one he gets a ton of run, he should crush this line. But even in games where he's, playing less minutes, he's been able to get there 64% of the time. So I do love to see this. But like I mentioned, it is the matchup for me specifically. So going head to head, and this is games with Randle, without Randle. The past 8 times they played, these 4 were last year, these 4 were this year. He's hitting 7 to 8 of these games, again, crushing this line against this Sixers team. Then you, again, take into account without Randle, and he's hit in 3 of the games, all 3 of the games without Randle this year. So hit rate's incredible. The matchup is awesome as well, but it's not all about the matchup, not all about the hit rate. We want to look at some odds, the market value. Are we getting a good line? And we can see we are. Jalen Brunson, rebounds and assists, 10.5. They're giving it a 51.84% chance to hit. It's nothing too crazy, but a lot of these books are favoring it to go over. That means essentially they'll pay you less money if you take the over than if you take the under, because they think it's more likely to happen here. You can see on FanDuel minus 138. So they are favored to go over. It's nothing too crazy. If you want to go to his points and rebounds, look like that's a good line as well. Sometimes PrizePicks just put their fantasy score a little bit too high, but wouldn't advise this top one. But yeah, I think Brunson should have a good game. It's playoffs, and hopefully gets a ton of run. And then last data point, also forgot to pull this one up for the first quarter prop for Grayson Allen. We can go to RotoWire. This is just going to be a projection model, and we can go to Jalen Brunson over here. And we see rebounds and assists right here, 10.5. They're projecting 12.8. So I love to see that. Everything pointing in the right direction here for Brunson, and kind of a fun pick on top of everything checking out in terms of making it a good play. So those are our first 2 plays. Let's move along to our next one. All right, so moving along to the last game of the night, which is going to be the Lakers versus the Nuggets rematch of last year. We have a whole lot of data points to look at because these guys played last year in the playoffs. But I'm landing on Michael Porter Jr., 8.5 rebounds and assists. I'm liking these rebounds and assist lines today, but another guy that's consistently hit this against the Lakers specifically, and should get a nice boost in minutes here, seeing as it's playoff time, and hopefully these games stay competitive and close. So I got his outlier page pulled up right here. Hit rate's not incredible for the whole year. 46% of the time he's gone over this. But again, we want to look at games that he's playing a few more minutes. I already went over and checked on RotoWire, projected for 34 minutes tonight. So just boosting this lineup, obviously you're going to see some more rebounds and assists and a whole lot more green. With 33 minutes, looks a little bit better, 65% hit rate. But again, projected for 34 minutes, 66% hit rate. So that is looking pretty solid here. which is not too bad. And then also want to look at the head-to-head specifically. So I'm just going to get rid of these minutes and go to the head-to-head, which looks the best here. 8 of 9 games this year and last year. Again, some of these in the playoffs specifically. Rebounded the ball extremely well. You saw the minutes, 33.7, so right on par with what the projection is saying. And yeah, been crushing this line specifically against the Lakers. So I do love the matchup. I love the hit rate once we look a little bit deeper. This is another one that looks pretty good in terms of the odds. I'm back onto Odds Jam here, just looking at market value. Odds Jam and DG Fantasy are awesome for this. If you're wondering what the difference between these two is, this is a fantasy optimizer. OddsJam also has a fantasy optimizer, and they're pretty much the same tool here. But I like to use both. This is the sportsbook screen on OddsJam, and it just gives me a little bit more data points to look at when I'm looking at a specific line. So we can see the average odds. It's easy to look at. Minus 123.8 on the over, minus 111.5 on the under. So we can see the market value is definitely favoring the over here. And then back over to DG Fantasy, you can see that as well. Rebounds and assists, they're giving it a 51.12% chance to hit. And the 4 or 5 data points they show us, they are favoring slightly this over. So another one that's pointing in the right direction in all fronts. And then the last data point we like to go to, again, is going to be RotoWire projection model. Let's go find Michael Porter. Should have already put him in. And we can see rebounds and assists. Where is it at? Rebounds and assists. Am I blind? Rebounds and assists right here. 9.4 is what they're projecting. We just need 9 to cash for us. And again, everything pointing in the right direction for this guy. So Porter is going to be our first play in this Lakers and Nuggets game. And I still got one more play for you guys. And before we jump into our last play, I do want to talk about the Discord community real quick. It's a place where, like-minded people, if you're interested in this stuff, if you're at this point in the video, you'll have a lot of fun in here. We're always talking props, talking plays, talking sports in general, and having a whole lot of fun. So we definitely like to celebrate our wins together. Definitely complain about dudes that don't play up to the standards of what we thought for the night, when we're having a bad day or something. We have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and just a good time. You also get access to all my slips in here. So anything I play on PrizePicks, Sleeper, Underdog, Chalkboard, or my correlated slips, I post in here first. All the video picks are posted in here like 2 hours before the video comes out on YouTube. But yeah, we have a lot of fun. MLB, we had some tennis plays the other day. Esports are always great value. NBA, of course, we're all year round, and we're having a lot of fun with it. So you can get in here for $20 a month, or you can use any of my affiliate links to PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Dabble, or DG Fantasy to get a free month, and you can actually get up to 6 months free. They all have their perks. There's kind of a win-win-win situation. You sign up, you get deposit matches. Definitely take advantage of those. But they also are always throwing free squares, discounts, all these different types of things to get our business. And I always say, you don't have to play Chalkboard every day if you don't want to play Chalkboard every day. But if they drop a free square, might as well go take advantage of that free square. But yeah, you can get in here for $20 a month or get in here for free. Use any of my codes. DM me a screenshot. Say, hey, use your code, and I'll get you right in. But that's enough of the Discord. Let's get into the last pick of the day. And that pick is going to be D'Angelo Russell over 15.0 first half fantasy score. This is probably my least favorite play of the day just because he struggles against the Nuggets. But even when that struggles, it's kind of more for the full game, and he's been able to get it done in the first half. So we're going to see an incredible hit rate here. 2023 as a whole, 72% hit rate, which is absurd. You see a ton of green really since he started getting a ton of minutes. You can see the minutes are a little bit down, trending in that right direction. And this is the playoffs. So I assume him to get a, decent amount of run, 17, 18, 19, 20 minutes maybe in this first half. And he's been playing really well, played extremely well against the Pelicans in that kind of play-in game. So that is encouraging, can definitely step up here in the playoffs. And, 10 straight games, I think he's gone over this. 10 straight games is absurd. 80% of the last 20, and then just 72% on the entire year. You take into account games that he's playing, 35 minutes or whatever. And this is just insane. So I love the hit rate on this one. And then in terms of the matchup, we can go ahead and look at the head-to-head. And 50% hit rate dating back to last year. You see some of these games, kind of some duds in the playoffs, which do scare me a little bit. But the 2 games this year did go over in both those games against the Nugs. One at the very beginning of the year, and then a more recent one back in March. So I do like to see the hit rate specifically against this team this year. I think D'Lo's a little bit of a different player, has played with a lot of passion, and just likes winning basketball. So D'Lo, I'm liking him today. I've rode with him pretty much all season, and he's hurt me a few times, but he's cashed more than he hasn't. So D'Lo first half fantasy score, I do like that. There's no other data points I can show you just because not a whole lot of books have first half fantasy score. That's what makes PrizePicks, kind of stand out between some of these other platforms. But yeah, I'm liking it 15.0. Again, it's ultimately your decision if you want to go ahead and take these. Yeah, real quick recap. D'Angelo Russell, we just talked about him, 15.0 first half fantasy score. Michael Porter Jr. for the full game, 8.5 rebounds and assists. Same prop for Jalen Brunson, but 10.5 rebounds and assists, taking the over on all these guys. And then Grayson Allen, I talked about his points at 12.5, but the prop that I'm liking a little bit better is that first quarter prop. Hopefully he knocks down a 3 for us, and it's just at 2.5 first quarter points. But that's going to do it. I'm going to edit this down and get it out to you guys. Again, one of those games is starting at 1 o'clock, so that's probably right around when this video is going to come out. But yeah, should be some fun. Great NBA games today. Super excited for the playoffs. Like the video, subscribe if you're new. If you're at this point, definitely go ahead and subscribe. We rip out daily content like this each and every day. And then comment down below just for the algorithm to push this out a little bit more. But yeah, that's enough. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or if you're in the Discord, I'll see you in there. Peace out.